an overview of gifted education programs and services in Cheltenham School District. So one of the first questions people often have is, what is gifted? What does that mean? What does it mean for a student to be identified as gifted? The state of Pennsylvania is responsible for putting out the guidelines that define giftedness. And giftedness composes of two independent pieces, both of which a child needs to have in order to be identified for gifted. The first is outstanding intellectual ability. And the second component is that they are in need of specially designed instruction. Specially designed instruction means special services that are otherwise not available in the general education setting. So if a child has both of these things, then they can qualify for gifted education. There's something called multiple criteria. And when we're looking at the eligible criteria that we're looking for when we're evaluating gifted students, we first and foremost, and has always been the case, it starts with an intelligence quotient test or an IQ test. And traditionally, the cutoff for gifted has been 130. However, over the years, we have been able to incorporate more criteria than simply just IQ when determining giftedness. And so it also includes things like academic performance, parental and teacher feedback, creative thinking, and other factors as well. We put all of those things together into a broad view of a particular student when making a determination about a student's gifted status. So you might be wondering, is my child eligible for gifted services? And the first thing to know is if you're having that question, the first step to do is to reach out to the challenge consultant at your child's school and simply send them an email and request that your child be evaluated for gifted education. Once you send that email, that will start the process of the district then giving your child a full evaluation to determine if gifted is the right designation for them. And that process incorporates two levels, so to speak, or two pieces. The first is a universal screening that we administer to each student. It's also something that we do for every single student in the spring of second grade. So if your child's in second grade and you're not sure if you're going to ask or not, come spring, every child will receive the universal screening test, regardless of whether or not you have requested gifted testing. But in any other grade or at any other time, if you want your child to be considered, the first step is that universal screening tool. If the child passes through that first step, then they go on to the level 2, which is a full gifted multidisciplinary evaluation. And that is done by a certified school psychologist. It incorporates a number of tests, all of which are there to determine if a child has outstanding intellectual ability and they are in need of specially designed instruction. If a child is found to be gifted, they will receive a document called a GIEP, which stands for a Gifted Individualized Education Plan. And in a nutshell, a GIEP contains an annual goal, which is the goal for that child to achieve that goes beyond what they would do or be expected to learn in the general educational setting. And the GIEP describes what that specially designed instruction is going to look like so that they can achieve that goal. So it's essentially a goal document that also describes how the goal will be achieved. So what kind of services are available in a GIEP? What kinds of specially designed instruction would you find in one of those documents? So it's things like curriculum compacting, which means we're moving through content at a faster pace, flexible grouping, either subject-specific or whole grade acceleration, meaning a fourth grader would be moved to fifth or sixth grade, either completely or maybe even just in one subject area. Independent study, subject-based enrichment, which means going deeper into the subject matter, dual enrollment, early entry to first grade, and design thinking independent projects at the high school level are all examples of specially designed instruction that a gifted student may receive. So when you're thinking about gifted education and what the focus is from K-12 in Cheltenham. This graphic sort of describes it. First and foremost, a GIEP is an individualized document, and it is there to meet the individual needs of students. And so you can see that that blue stripe goes K-12. Then from grades K through 8, there is a focus for those students for whom it makes sense, an ELA focus that we can focus on. And then in grades K through 6, also a mathematics focus. As the students who need specific support in math move into 7th and 8th grade, you'll notice it transitions into a broader STEM approach. And that is in response to some of the coursework that is available in the gen ed setting in those grades. And then as all gifted students feed into the high school, we meet a lot of their needs through a course that they take, which is a combination of a design thinking course with an independent student project. If you have any further questions, please reach out to the challenge consultant at your child's school, and we'll be happy to give you more information. Thank you.